angles, measuring angles in degrees, minutes and seconds, or decimal form. We measure angles in degrees. The magnitude of an angle is degrees from one line from that turning point around to the other. But when we have part of a degree, often previously we've just measured it in decimal form, say 3.5 degrees. Actually though, parts of a degree are measured in minutes and seconds. There are 60 minutes in a degree and 60 seconds in a minute. So it works just like time. The minutes sign is a single apostrophe, and the seconds sign is a double one, like quotation marks. Usually in this course we only ever use degrees and minutes. If there are seconds, we'll round. So we need to be able to use degrees, minutes and seconds, convert back and forth between decimal form and DMS form, and the best way is your graphics calculator or even your scientific calculator. Anytime we're using degrees, when we're using our graphics calculator, we'll need to change our setting in mode from radians to degrees. Highlight degrees, press enter. You're going to need to do that every time, because every time you clear the memory, it goes back to radians. Radians are another way of measuring angles, in the same way that we could measure distance in kilometers or miles. It's just a different way of measuring, but we don't tend to use it in this course. So change to degrees and quit out. We'll just work through several of these questions. So, converting 35 degrees, 24 minutes to decimal form. The key we want is here, apps, but the selection above it, angle, so second function, angle. Enter your number of degrees, 35. Second function and apps brings me the angle menu, and we want to enter degrees. You can hit enter when you've got 1 highlighted, or you can just press 1. 35 degrees, 24 minutes. We need to say this is in minutes, second function, angle, and 2 for minutes. Once we've got that, enter, and it will evaluate that as a decimal. 35.4 degrees. If we want to change a decimal back to degrees, minutes, seconds, again, second function, angle, and DMS. We can move down to highlight 4 and hit enter, but it's quicker just to hit the number that we want. Change our answer to degrees, minutes, seconds, hit enter, and there we are, 35 degrees, 24 minutes. So the next question, I've got a decimal, I need to get this into DMS form. Just enter our decimal, 38.125. You don't need to say that this is degrees. And we saw how to do this. To get to DMS form, second function, angle, 4, DMS please. Now we have 38 degrees, 7 minutes, and 30 seconds. but we need to the nearest minute. When we round with seconds and minutes, we round if we're at halfway or above. Now there's 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in a degree, so we round at 30 seconds or more. We round at 5, or we round up at 5 when we're dealing with decimals, because that's halfway. But 30 seconds is our halfway point, so at 30 seconds or more we round up, so we are looking at 38 degrees, 8 minutes. We write degrees and minutes like so. The next question definitely highlights why we need to have chosen degrees. We're finding the value of sine of an angle. Remember when they just asked me for the value of sine, cos or tan of an angle? We just type in sine and the angle and equals. But we need to be able to type in an angle in degrees and minutes form. That's easy now. So find the value of sine 148 degrees 34 minutes. We want sine 148 degrees 34 minutes. Close our bracket and enter. And we have 0.52, now it's 521, but our first digit we're cutting off is 5, so we round up 0.522. Let's show our working. We can also add or subtract angles in degrees minutes form, which is very handy. We'll need to do this quite frequently in the coming weeks. So the next question, add these two angles. Simply enter them in. 46 degrees, 37 minutes. You'll notice it's a little bit tedious. It's actually easier on a scientific calculator. Plus 21 degrees, 48 minutes equals, it gives us our answer as a decimal. If we've got our answer as a, if our question was in DMS form, definitely put your answer in DMS form. And we have 68 degrees 25 minutes. So our last question is a little bit out of left field. You don't need to do this. The DMS button works quite nicely for time as well. So if I have to write 6.2 hours as hours and minutes, okay, we could say 6 hours and 0.2 times 60. Let's work it out that way. 0.2 times 60. That will be 12 minutes. You can also do that when you're converting from DMS to decimal, but it's a little tedious. But if I enter 6.2 and change it to degrees, minutes, seconds, 6 degrees, 12 minutes. Okay, we're assuming that our degrees are now our hours, but we get the correct answer, 6 hours, 12 minutes, much more quickly. If you want to learn to use a scientific calculator to enter degrees, minutes, seconds, it is a little faster, a little easier. You're quite welcome to bring 2 calculators to class and to tests.